Welcome to the Emo Social Club podcast, broadcasting to you live from emosocialclub.tv. I am Brian.
And I'm Lizzie, and we're here tonight back again with friend of the pod, Darro, right before he goes on tour. So thanks so much for hanging out with us.
Thank you for having me, and very much like right before.
Yeah.
I'm literally sitting next to a pile of merch. Actually, though, I don't know if you can see.
No, we cannot. Oh, look, exclusive sneak peek of
Guys,
Literal roll.
yeah.
That's like a
old
quarter
school. Like rolled t-shirts and rubber bands with a little sticker on it. That's old school merch.
I have learned so much from playing shows in New York about trying to sell merch, fast-paced environment. Everything's dark as fuck. You'll literally spend like 20 minutes looking for a specific size in the dark. You can't see any tags, and you gotta like dig through shirts, like piles and piles of shirts to find the tags, and you literally can't find it. And by the time you do find it, or if you never find it, the other person that's standing there trying to buy merch is like disinterested. Like I've been that person, and I've also been like the audience person trying to buy a shirt, waiting 20 minutes and like experiencing it myself from the other end. But like, this tour is mad expensive, right? So I need to like make some money back, and like I'm not trying very hard not to fuck up selling merch because I need that money back.
Right. Yeah, it's like, I mean, capitalism, sure. But also when you're just your own person doing your own merch on tour, you got to be efficient as fuck, because you got like, I mean, you can also only sell merch for like so long of the night, because you also have to go on stage and then.
Well, I'm not. So actually, my best friend, whole wide world, one of my best friends in the whole wide world, is coming on tour with me to do merch for me. But I'm trying to make his life easy, and I'm obviously going to be there, like at the table, as much as possible. But yeah, like I actually have help this time, which is crazy. Even though I'm still mostly doing everything by myself, I'm not like. For the first time, I don't actually feel completely alone. That's the difference between last year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's don't put tape around them, which I learned the hard way a long time ago, because they definitely get like tape residue that barely comes off afterwards. So
yeah,
rubber bands is the way to go.
Yeah, rubber bands. So we have, these were rolled up by my girlfriend. She's good at rolling. Rubber band and sticker, sticker. And then I tried to show, like, there's only one design that's this colorful. So like we show this so you can easily pull it out and identify, because we have like 3 or 4 different designs coming forward with this. So to be able to just see it and immediately know which shirt and design.
Yep. So smart.
Brain.
Mega Mind energy.
Anyways, sorry, I completely derailed that introduction.
No, that is exactly the introduction.
Now, listen, a bunch of people just learn how to do, and people just learn how to effectively roll merch now.
It was educational, and it's
a hack.
Promotion. You know, that's the internet. I'm understanding.
Come see these rolled shirts in person.
I'll
show you how to roll them myself.
I'll show you my rolled shirts. But give us, tell us, where have you been for the last year? What have you been up to? How has life been? But let's go month by month. So we had you on. Don't actually. But how has it been since we had you on last?
Okay, so I think it was like in the fall or like the end of summer last year, right? That I was on here.
I think so.
Yeah.
I had released like 2 songs or like 3. But since then, at the end of August last year, I finished recording my album completely. Then that, mixed, edited and stuff by like January. So between like the months of I'm actually going month by month now. Like I'm actually like, it's
I was like,
that I have
if it helps to organize your thoughts. Yeah,
honestly, like for the end of the end of basically winter was my hibernation. That's when I was like here. That master plan involves touring, dropping the album, I basically what I was doing was I took the album once it was finished and mixed and mastered. I like reached out to like 15 to 20 of my fans and I sent them the whole album. And I was like, hey, I want you to rank all of these songs. I actually sent them to you.
So we got a list of them. I sent it to Brian. I was like, yo, these bang.
Thanks. So I was like, I asked people to rank them from their favorite or least favorite to favorite, whatever, favorite to least favorite. And what the general consensus was, the average of all of those rankings was how I determined the release order for the songs. And then I was like, well, I had to like make tweaks because there are certain songs that just are better for like certain seasons. So like the one that's dropping tonight at midnight is like, I think, perfect summer song, or rather the best summer song that I've written. And so that technically would have been released at a different time had I followed that formula. But I was like, no, this has to be dropped in the summer. And it has to be dropped before I go on tour. I really had to like shift this, like massage that schedule. And so those months I was literally planning this entire year, month by month, like what song was dropping when every release would be, like when the lyric videos would drop, when music videos would drop, or would be when I would have to come to church, like coming up with like all of these lists of things here. And then like I would work backwards from that and be like, okay, so if the music video is due on this day, that means I got to finish the video 4 weeks ahead of that, which means I have to film at least 2 weeks before that. But like, I was like, by the time I had finished the list, I was like, shit, I got to start doing this tomorrow. Like it was like the because I spent like all of January to like March just like filming content and like making music videos, gathering all the assets, like all the artwork for all the singles, getting the artwork finished, taking photo shoots, and I had to plan like all of this stuff as far in advance as I could because I also had my eyes set on moving to LA this year. And so I had to like work that into the schedule, figure out like at what point I like cut off the work that I have to do, packing. And I'm currently in that phase right now, and it's so stressful. Jeez, it's so stressful. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing. And then I dropped, a bunch of singles this year. And I came up with a list of like 2022 goals that I was like I always have like a big like yearly goal of like 2 or 3 big goals that I'm just like things that I want to check off for the year.
Yeah. That's what they are.
Yeah. And it's like they're things that I think that are like the next step for example, my goals for this year was 3 goals was, one was to land on one of the big press outlets. Just one feature. I usually like I try to get one every year, right? Like the first was like the Billboard, and the second was Alternative Press, and like third, like every year I try to get one big one. And so this year it was Rolling Stone India, and I'm still not finished releasing music yet. So I actually have hope that we might get some big. But we checked that off already. Like I was satisfied by my last press piece that I'm like, I don't give a fuck what happens now. Like with press wise, like I'm cool, I'm satisfied. And number 2 was landing on my first Spotify editorial playlist, which I did earlier this year too. And so I checked that one off, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck what happens with Spotify playlisting for the rest of the year, because like I hit my one goal. Anything else is icing on the cake. And the third is touring, which, if barring any like crazy like world-ending things, happens in 2 days. So that's the third thing on my list. And so that's kind of how I like section off my year, and I've just been working at each one, try to get them off. And then next year I'll have more goals or whatever, depending what ends up happening this.
I feel like this is like a really healthy like goal set. Like you're not overshooting it. You're just like, let's be realistic. Let's go with 1 or 2.
Well,
we're not going to go for like 10.
Yeah.
Especially because like I feel like if you don't hit that goal, then you feel worse about it.
Yeah. And I used to have those types. I used to think that like things happened so much quicker than they actually did. I used to think like, oh, one big press piece, someone's going to call me tomorrow. Like, no. And it just like things like that happen at the weirdest time. It's ever predict when things like that happen. So I just like, what I try to do is other people have done it, specifically like within my niche or my genre, like basically the bands and artists that I look up to. And not even like, the ones at the very top, but like the ones that are like just getting their foot in the game. I'm constantly like trying to learn from them, even though I've never met them or ever really even spoke to them. But I am just like closely watching see how I can continue to progress or what. But I used to be like so hungry at the very, and I still am, but like I'm a little more focused with it. Like when I was a couple years younger, I was like going for everything all at once.
Mm-hmm.
And now I kind of like focus on a couple of things.
Yeah. First of all, Lizzie doesn't know this yet, but I've been putting together our project management function for behind the scenes for us too, because I'm like, yeah, I've got like my brain is just like running through like, oh man, we got to do this. And I'm like listening to you talk about reverse engineering it. And I'm like, damn, man, that sounds actually really easy. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I could just, all right, so we got to have this out by this day. Oh, fuck yeah, that'll work. So I'm like listening to this and I'm like, this is literally what I need to do now. And Lizzie was going to find out and go, Brian, stop this. Stop all of this. Tear it down, bestie.
Bestie.
Bestie non-derogatorily. Bestie aggressive in that situation.
Honestly, I never really like thought about like applying that formula outside of music, but I guess you could, right? You could pretty much apply that to any type of passion.
Like if you're trying to find a new job, right? You're like, okay, I need to like get my resume. It's like anytime you have like a bunch of different steps to get to something, and maybe like if you're like anyone in the music industry, you got way too much shit to do.
Yep.
It's like trying to find all of the different things you need to do, prioritize them. There's like so much shit you don't even know you have to do yet. And you're like, okay, I didn't know I had to do that. And now rather than like dropping everything to just do that thing that comes up, you got to go, okay, how can I fit this in with all of the other things that I've planned for and goal set and how do I align that with everything else? And this also comes from working in like the corporate world. And it's like, man, you just gotta be like,
that's a thing though. It sucks. Cause like I work a 9 to 5. So like, that's probably where I get it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it makes sense. 9 to 5 capitalism, industry is completely capitalist. So like, it's just a reflection of the society that we, So I'm just
made
like
art capitalist.
Oh no.
Fuck.
Listen, the NFTs took over art to be like, hey, you want to own things, really? And it's like, hey, we do. We don't need NFTs.
But only animated.
Not.
It's more like, okay, I'll argue that it's not capitalism. It's just like the capitalist side is the working for the capital, the profits, the profit seeking motive. This is not where I thought this pod was going to go, but we're going to go there.
Wow.
No, we're going to get into it. It's not about the profit-seeking motive. It's about working with other people and achieving the things you want to achieve. Not because like you want to have the most money. It's because like Lizzie and I have now a more current motto of we just want to do fun shit. Like that's it. That's all we want.
Legit.
So how do I achieve the fun shit motive, not the profit seeking motive? It's the fun seeking motive, not the profit seeking motive.
I mean, that's literally that's the only thing that anybody wants to do ever. If you think about it, like I just want to work so I can not have to worry about eating, being able to sleep, so that I can have fun at some point. Like everything we do is like always to like reserve a future time where we can have fun. Save up for that trip so we can have and like we get older and we get like really grinded down, dated by our jobs. And then like don't have time to have fun. We can't have fun. It's too expensive to have fun. So we don't have fun. And then we forget what it's like to have fun. And then like all you know is life without fun. And like, and you like after a while you just forget like, why did I even get this job in the first place?
That sounds so dystopian, like a dystopian novel. They're like, do you remember when you had fun? No.
Yeah.
Then like one person goes off into like some other realm. They're like, guys, I found this thing called fun.
It's crazy. Full of life.
No, but seriously though, like that's what it is, and it's like but that's why doing music or like finding fun in art, like you said, I think that's why it's valuable, because like that is something that can be fun, I guess, and profitable, which is why there's still capitalism. But like it's, for me, it's like I go to work just so that I can do this. Like this is the only reason I have a job. And it used to be, I used to want to do everything. Like I said before, like I wanted to be an engineer and a producer. So like I was also engineering bands and producing bands too on the side, in addition to like doing all this other stuff. And none of it was fun. None of it was fun because all of it was I was just so exhausted and broke all the time. And if you don't have the money to survive, then the things that you try to do for fun are not fun. But then there's also like that fine line where if you're trying to do the things for fun to like make it pay for itself, it starts to become fun because now it's work again.
Yep.
And so like that's the line that I'm constantly struggling with.
Yeah, you're hitting on something that I think a lot of bands and anybody who does like more of a creative, hesitate to say hobby, but like, you know, people who are not like professional. Yeah. Like people aren't professionally doing like a podcast, professionally doing engineering. Like they're not already in the business, so they're not professionally doing it. Alice says creative pursuit in the chat. Yeah, a creative pursuit, you know, yes. And it's like, this is going to pay my bills. I have to do this. And there was always this like sense of like when Jeff Rickley from Thursday would be like, yeah, so there I am like off of tour working at the Urban Outfitters. And it's like, yeah, like you have to, you don't make enough money going on Warped Tour. You don't make enough money to live off of for the entire year off of selling music. And of course he was very like, no, steal my music. I just want you to have it. Just take all of Thursday's music. I don't give a shit. And you're obviously going to have to get a second job that gives you the freedom to do all of the other things that you want to do with that. And I think a lot of bands now start to feel like, yeah, this is just what it is now. Like we all have 9 to 5s.
Yep.
The band is our creative pursuit. But in that, there's also been a lot more freedom where like fans aren't just looking at you like, oh my God, you're like this like rock star and like you sleep until 3 and you just like hang out backstage and you're drinking all the beer and talking to all the friends. And then that's it. That's your whole life. You know, yeah. It's like, no, I have work and I do a lot for both my day job that gives me the money and the opportunity to do all this other stuff too.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like capitalism is the passion killer. It really is. Because like, I guarantee anybody that if they were given the option to like sincerely given the option to not have to work and just do what they want to do for fun, like that be the thing that they do, nobody would be in offices. Like nobody like would choose to do the thing.
Yeah, I might do the thing though.
Brian,
I like spreadsheets, man.
That's
I like
fine.
working on stuff.
You can make all of our spreadsheets. I don't know why.
There's not enough data
fair
in this shit. Like
that's fair.
Yeah, and like,
whoa, you want to see my spreadsheets, dude? Oh,
dude, we about to trade spreadsheets after this?
About to trade spreadsheets. You should see my tour spreadsheet. It's probably like 20 megabytes data of just numbers.
Guys, if you're not in the Twitch stream, you're about to miss some live streamed data analysis.
Oh my!
You guys are missing out. You guys are like, this audio podcast, I can't even see the spreadsheet. I missed the stream. Yeah, you did.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no. Seriously though, like it's a mess right now. I think all musicians and all bands are like navigating, like we're all like, this is new to everybody, right? Like obviously we've never been like, inflation's never been this high, the economy's never been this bad, we've never been in COVID before. Like everything that's happening right now, it's still like we're still in crisis mode. We've just gotten used to it. You know, like we've like adapted to the new, like I genuinely do not believe it's going to be, we're not going to return to any semblance. right? Pandemic was like, that was like a, hey, did you guys watch the Doctor Strange movie? Or like the What If series? Like, you know, the part where the Ancient One comes back and like, this is a finite point in time and you can't, like when Rachel dies. Wait, was her name? Yeah. When Rachel dies, you can't break that. The pandemic is that for us. And it's as we're in this new timeline of like, this is just how it is now. Like gas is through the roof. Supply chain's fucked. Live touring was fucked. And now it's so like the floodgates have opened and so extraordinarily oversaturated with touring musicians, bands and stuff that like it was so hard for me to book. Given I have never went on a full tour before like this. So like, I understand it's a little tough. But the nightmare that I had with booking this tour, like it took me like, I was booking since January and I didn't finish last week.
Damn.
I remember you asked me multiple times too over a few months. You're like, who do you know in Chicago? And I'm like, how do we not have any dates in Chicago for what you're looking for this like far out?
Well, okay. So I have a theory on this. And this is like, there's no evidence to back this up. It's just my hunch.
Conspiracy theory time.
This is my conspiracy theory about the touring. Yeah, exactly. Just get like spreadsheets of when every show was booked at what time.
Dude, so I have no idea how much that would like excite me to do. So I'm not going to do it.
Right, dude, seriously though, you could write an article about that. Like that could be something.
Yeah, you could.
You'll publish that on AP somewhere.
Alternative press. Yep.
Pitch it.
I thought you meant Associated Press.
Yeah,
I'd have to write that with you.
Like, yeah,
I'd have to write that with you because you like commas too much and I don't.
Too many characters unnecessarily.
Fucking Oxford.
Why touring is broken this year? Okay, so my theory is that obviously we know like because COVID had canceled years shows, like this was the first full year where like basically the entire country was. So that was always going to happen this year. It was always going to be notoriously hard to book this year because of all of the rebookings from the previous couple of years. And in the last 3 years, there have been so many acts that have completely blown up. Started and blown up in the last 3 years.
True.
Like, and those artists, for the most part, some of them like had touring experience. A lot of them didn't. Like a lot of them were TikTok artists, bedroom producers. Like they got signed to major deals and stuff, but like they hadn't toured before. So you have nationally signed major label touring acts touring the country, but they're not going to play at MSG or like, you know, Terminal 5. They're going to play at like the Subterranean or like, you know, like the small bars in like the local spots in every town that all the local bands are like, you know, known for going to, for getting booked at. And now all of a sudden these really small, like 100 capacity venues are like getting booked by nationally touring acts with like clout. And a lot of them are not booking local acts to start for them. They have full bills touring with them of other signed major artists signed, with no touring experience. And it's fine. That's fine. Like hell yeah, fucking play show, like play music. That's the best thing in the whole world. What resulted in that was local bands were unable to book shows that they were normally just easily able to just walk onto shows for, right? Like almost like they had like house gigs there. And the venues were like, well, we have like so-and-so from RCA booking our venue. So maybe we really should like, you know, raise the tier that for the bands. And they stopped booking local bands. And fuck it, like literally fucking forget it if you're a small act like me coming from a completely different place. Like they won't even open your email. And so I think a combination of those two things plus like everybody is going on tour because first year that we can. And that made it so extremely hard to just break through anything, any type of. And so during January and March, I was like sending hundreds and hundreds of emails. Like I was getting bills ready in every single city. I like reached out to like 20 bands from every city. I got 3 or 4 people who were like, yes, I'll play with you. the dates and stuff. Like I had bands and stuff lined up in every local city that I was going to so that I could pitch it to the venue for a show. I was like, hey, like I already have a full bill and they're all locals. Like, you know these people. They've already played your venue plenty of times. No response, no booking, no response. Like, and it was like for months and months and months, nobody was responding to me. And then all of a sudden, in like 1 week, everybody sent me response. All right, we're booked until October. Like that's
Holy
literally
shit.
that happened in like 4 different cities within 2 days. Like Philadelphia, like my hometown for some reason. Obviously New York, Atlanta, like all of them got back to me in 2 days. We're like, sorry, we're booked until the fall. I'm like,
Dane.
I've been emailing you since January. Like, what?
Like, where have you been?
Like, seriously. So like, then I had to like completely like throw apart my entire tour plan and start a brand new one from scratch. Like there isn't a single venue that I'm booked at now that was on my original list. There's maybe 2 bands on the entire, like all of my shows with like the bills that were from the original, from my original list. Like this is a completely different tour that I had spent 4 months planning. Crazy. I like spent all that work for no reason.
Hey, it was to teach you to get there. It's not for no reason. It's just, you had to get some data and you analyzed it. And then you're like, nah, you know what? Not happening that way.
But my point is that like COVID, like I was like going off of like like a lot of people were helping me, telling me what to do, like when to do, because they had so much prior experience touring and none of it applied because the industry is completely different now. Everything is literally completely different now because of COVID. And it's just, I feel like I have to relearn the entire music industry.
I mean, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly. And I guess, honestly, most of the industry doesn't know what's happening either. Everything's very reactive right now.
Yeah.
And a lot of people did kind of like step back from the time. And then if they decided to jump back into whatever they were doing in the music industry after like quarantine and lockdown, it's like, they're like, I don't know what's going on. Like my contacts aren't here anymore. They got let go or they just left. And there's these new different things that are going on. I'm like, well, yeah, because you were gone during a really pivotal time, which I understand why, but all these new things are going to happen and change. And then you're going to be a little bit behind, which sucks. But I've been noticing that a lot, just like in general,
that's
with
actually a
how
really good
the
point.
industry has been operating.
Yeah, it's like we shedded, we molted. Now there's a completely different, completely different being.
We're all just a bunch of new snakes out here.
God.
It's also like thinking about the emo, like all of the things that happened that got really big during the last 2 years. Look, I'm gonna go data analytics because we're already on this now, and I'm like, I'm fuck with it. There's a guy who gave a TED talk and he talked about how like what kind of music gets popular during different times of like if it's a an economic recession, what types of music genres are more popular? If it's an economic boom, we're doing well, what kind of music is popular? Because obviously that's things that will affect what you want to listen to. If you're generally feeling good, you probably don't want to listen to like a bunch of sad shit. Yeah. They found that like it is affected like that. But now that you have all of everything all of the time, everything everywhere all the time or whatever. I still haven't seen that movie and I'm so sorry, and don't yell at me. You have I know. I saw Doctor Strange. Everyone's like, it's better that. And I'm like, I get it. I want it. But I'm getting there.
I wouldn't. It's just different. It's the most beautiful movie I've ever seen, but it's different.
I've heard so many good things about it and I really want to see it. But you have all of these different opportunities and people are just able to make whatever they want, however they're feeling. And like, there is no like firm, full cultural movement towards like one thing. It's a culture movement towards everything. So honestly, like the emo revival gets big and everyone's like, all we want is this. And now people who weren't even playing with their band anymore are like, we're going to go on tour. And we're going to do a bunch of
come back.
Yeah.
Like, let's go to the gym tomorrow and go on tour next week. Like
I get my diet back together.
I've been telling myself this whole year that I was going to go back to the gym. Right now, like my workout is carrying boxes up
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes.
Listen, you're getting your endurance up. You're learning how to breathe while holding heavy things and running around.
Yeah.
You're good.
That's all
So-
working out is.
If you see me on tour with a box in my, and now you know why I have a box on tour just to
Yeah.
I need it.
That's your
I've gotten
weight.
used.
I mean, bands, when you're playing the shows and if you're not just like backstage drinking massive amounts of beer and being lazy, like, you can get there. It's a pretty active job if you're doing it right.
If you have at least 3 emergencies minimum a night where you have to sprint or run around, you're fine.
Being an event coordinator will definitely be cardio.
Oh, yeah. That being any type of, I used to be. I'm very type A, and I normally am. But like when I'm responsible for when I'm responsible for the outcome of something that is not something that I truly care about, or that is not like my personal thing, I get so. Like I can plan this tour and stuff because like if it fucks up, then I fuck it up and it's my fault, and I'm fine with that. Like I made plenty of mistakes. So, but if I fuck something up that is someone else's passion thing, I'm like, oh shit, I don't know if I want to do this. Right? I don't want that.
If it's a corporation though, it doesn't matter.
Honestly, I would do it on purpose.
Yeah. We've been talking about the villain arc, but it's a hero villain arc where you're the villain to somebody who is also a villain, which makes you the hero. It's like 2 wrongs do make a right.
The anti-hero.
Yeah. I've been in the corporate job for so long that I've learned.
Hell yeah.
It's me,
the time waster.
It's me.
Sorry, I did not mean to interrupt you.
No, it's okay. I would rather talk about being the villain.
So aside from being the villain and maybe potentially causing accidents, which is also the new title of your upcoming album.
Oh my God, this
in
fucking
August.
That was smooth.
Lizzie's been working on these and she's doing a great job.
That.
But also,
listen, I don't have 7 years of journalism school under my belt for nothing but smooth transitions.
I was like, that was. Oof. I couldn't have written that myself. If
that's not even written. It's in my mind.
Gosh,
she's been planning this the whole time.
It's mega mind energy on like 6 hours of sleep.
The album is called Accident. Yeah. I guess this is it. This is the announcement because I haven't actually formally announced it.
Oh shit,
shit. Shut it
We've
down.
been doing
Shut
this
it down.
a lot, lady.
No, I
We've
don't
been
think
doing
so.
this a lot, lady. Sorry, everyone.
It's fine. It's fine. I'll make a post. I'll make a social media post. Except tomorrow, my next song drops, and the banger. I think.
Shit, guys. It is ironic that we announced it before you did, and it was an accident. I'm just saying.
No, that's the best. Honestly,
It all comes together.
And now I'm going to tell you about music licensing on the internet and how. Hey, guy, this is like. You've heard the term good trouble, right? Like where you have to like kind of like you have to like push the boundaries to like develop them, I think, a little bit. Like
okay.
There are rules, but there's like hard and fast rules, and then there's like, we think this is it. But you kind of have to like stress test things. And I think that like playing music and challenging DMCA is like good trouble, where it's like most artists want their music out there. Most artists want people to hear it. Most artists don't give a shit because the money that they're losing from the label is not going to the artist anyway. It's going to the label.
And you know why artists don't care about the Digital Millennium Copyright Act? And it's because artists didn't come up with that. It was corporations.
Yeah. Capitalism.
Why?
We keep coming back to it.
Earn more fucking money.
Yeah.
Artists don't give a fuck.
Artists just want people to hear their art. Like that's why they made it.
That's why everybody still says nowadays. Like I don't feel like more people say it nowadays, but I think it's like low key here and there and like implied to an extent. And it's like, just get my music anywhere, wherever. It's like wink wink type of thing.
I had a conversation with somebody about this recently, and I can't remember how it started, but the conversation was talking about how if somebody is passionate about what they do, right? That in and of itself is kind of hard, right? Because I feel like it's like a takes one to know one type of thing. It's like you have to be like really passionate about something to be able to identify if someone else is equally passionate about whatever it is they do. Because of like, it's all you think about, all you talk about, eat, sleep, breathe. Like literally everything you do is pointed towards that one thing. And you can easily see that with other people, right? At least in my opinion, I don't know if everybody can, but you can tell easily about the people who are doing it because they're passionate about it and the people who are doing it because they want to make money off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an extreme, like if you can identify that, because the industry is chock full of like that. It's a very profitable industry.
Plant.
Right? And and it's like, so of course there's people like that. Of course there's people like that, because it wouldn't be an industry if it wasn't full of people trying to make money. Mm-hmm. Which is like, yeah, that's fine. Like make your money so you can sleep, eat, and breathe or whatever. But you can always tell, like if there's a person that's like making their music because they just want to fucking make music, and they're not like, the first thing they think about is like, how do I get my song out there? Not how much am I going to off of this, you know? And like, it's like, that's always kind of been my mindset for navigating the industry. I just genuinely don't trust anybody that is in it for the money. Mm-hmm. And I can tell, like after having conversations, I can tell if like you're somebody that is just doing this to make money, or if you're just doing it because you genuinely care, or like, you know. And I think that's where like there's a lot of stigma around like be fake and people like clout chasing. And I think that people that like are susceptible to that may not be as passionate about doing as you say, or maybe they are, and maybe they just like are. I don't know. This is my perspective. But like people who are in it for the money tend to be toxic.
Mm-hmm. And like
Hundred P. I have no stats to track that, but everyone I've interacted with who is always like that, I'm like, yeah, I don't like you.
Yeah, and that's just like that. Again, this is I have no evidence to back this up. This is just from my personal experience.
You have observations and experience.
Anecdotal evidence.
Anecdotal evidence. But I'm gonna do the real data analytics.
Brian's
and I'm
gonna actually
get the
put
He's gonna write another article for Alternative Press.
Guys, you just check it out. I've got so many articles.
Can you believe that ESC is about to become also music writers?
I'm gonna publish some data on the internet, and damn.
That's gonna be it's game over from everybody. Because we have the one guy in the world here who knows how to do math.
Hell yeah.
Who likes to do math.
In the music industry. Likes to do, fucking nerd.
Rules. Guys, no, it's a universal language. It means the same everywhere.
No, it don't.
Yeah. Lizzie, that's literally a line from Mean Girls, by the way. That's literally a line because Katie Heron, Caddy.
Well, what Caddy says is scripture.
Yeah. We trust that version of Lindsay Lohan and that version of Lindsay Lohan exclusively.
That version was the GOAT.
What, you don't like pop star Lindsay Lohan? I feel
that
like
was the same era. So yes, I do.
Same era. That was the Freaky Friday era, wasn't it?
Yeah. Freaky Friday and Rumors. And she put out a record, dude.
Yeah,
put out
a
whole ass pop record.
Yeah, I remember that. I was thinking about.
I mean, she has like her own like Greek hotel or something though. So I feel like we should all just go to see.
No, we should not. I guarantee you there's no upkeep on that hotel. I guarantee you that she has not paid some people to keep that up in Greece.
Oh, it's in Greece.
Mykonos.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's in Greece. Yeah.
No, she has not been in
there was
Greece.
an TV show about it for like 2 or 3 seasons about it.
And then they stopped making seasons. She stopped cleaning up after herself.
You know what city or what part in Greece?
I'm pretty sure it's Mykonos. She was living in Dubai for a while. I know maybe too much. It sounds like I know too much.
I was about to say, I feel like we have a way more extensive knowledge of Lindsay Lohan than both of us thought we had.
If you can drop 2 to 3 pieces of evidence about something that no one else in the chat or who you're talking to knows about, then you're the one with a problem.
That's hilarious, actually.
I
didn't know nothing about Lindsay Lohan basically after Mean Girls.
She got really unhinged.
I think what she did right after Mean Girls.
I think she like basically disowned her father too.
Well, only because her mom's older.
Yeah, that's the whole other thing. Oh God, we know
There's a
so
lot
much
going on
Lindsay
in the
Lohan
Lohans.
lore.
There's a
Oh my
lot
gosh.
going on with the Lohans.
The triple L's, Lindsay Lohan
She's a year
lore.
older than me, and she went to school in Illinois, and I was like,
Where in Illinois?
it wasn't. So Mean
Brian's
Girls
dropping
takes
the ball
place
here now.
I know.
Yeah,
Well,
what's
I don't
going
know.
on?
I don't
a
have
secret
as much
life?
information on past Lindsay Lohan. I only have information on like the past few years Lindsay Lohan. Like, it's so weird. Badger's challenging the pronunciation of Lohan. I'm saying it.
How you say it?
Lohan.
Lohan. Don't like that.
I'm not saying it that way. I'm saying
dislike.
Lohan. Because I'm from Chicago. So anyway, Lindsay Lohan.
Oh no.
Like,
Oh, I'm so excited, by the way, to like hear an authentic Chicago act. I don't think I've ever heard an authentic Chicago.
oh,
I think it's just
Go to any Portillo's.
I don't know. No, not Portillo's. That's
there's like very.
I saw a really interesting article actually. That was like, is Portillo's actually just a suburban and tourist thing? And the answer is yes.
Also tasty as fuck. So don't knock it till you have it.
Debatable.
And if you don't like it, that's
Wait.
also okay.
What is Port?
Portillo's is like
It's like
bratwurst,
American,
hot dogs,
Oh.
or,
like Chicago dog.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Beef.
I'm down.
If you go up to the northwest side, you can go to Gene and Jude's, which is arguably better,
Yeah,
or
it is
Wiener
arguably
Circle,
better.
or
Wiener Circle's
Super
also
Dogs. If you go to the right Super Dogs, they have the old school like 50s actual like big hot dog people standing on top, and it's a little drive-in.
Oh, that sounds dope.
It's really cute.
I would
Plus
love
the
to.
Said
people
he's
there
not
are
a
really
fan in the
nice.
chat.
I worked
Alex,
at a
please time him out.
I worked an event there at both of the locations when I was at my other radio stations, and they gave us literally each and every single time one of everything off the menu.
What?
And they were so nice.
I want to do that.
I want to walk in. I want one of everything.
Everything.
Taking
They
a
had-
Chicago hot dog.
Honestly, though,
Challenge.
this tour is mostly just. That's what I'm
You know
most
what? Do
excited
it.
about. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, the
Alex, can you
music's
time
gonna
him
be
out? I
dope.
gotta time out Badger real quick. Badger said he didn't like
600
Portillo's. I'm like, I'm gonna time
seconds?
this guy out. Yeah, it's 10
I don't
minutes.
like Portillo's either.
I'm timing out Lizzie. Please hold. Everybody,
That's
please
really
hold.
rude.
I have to time
I
out.
can't believe him. He deleted a comment I did.
In a
sent
private
him-
chat, I deleted one of
It
her
was-
comments.
Yeah, I was like, why'd you delete that? It was literally just
I was like,
between
because I
us,
found it
bestie.
offensive and only I can read it, so I'm deleting it.
Then I unsent something earlier. He's like, wow, I'm glad that you
Yeah, I'm
unsent
like, I
that.
think
And
you're
I
doing
said,
it
yeah,
for
I'm pulling
yourself.
a you. I was like, no, I'm pulling a you.
The unsend features. Good
so
move.
good.
I'm so happy that.
I also want to mention that Nate Flood is in the chat. And we could,
Hey.
Lizzie, do you want to make a little transition, quality
Yeah,
transition into
Your friend
Nate Flood?
Yeah, your friend Nate Flood's in the chat. And you also have a single coming out soon called Something I'm Not Used To. And is that the one that is coming out tomorrow?
Yes.
/ Friday.
That's the one we're about to play.
Tomorrow / tonight /
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Midnight Tonight. Yes, he's in that song. I wish I could just like. That song was okay. So this song is a song that I wrote the fastest, but it doesn't mean that it's like does not equate to like the quality or level of care. It was just the idea came to me and it was just like I knew everything that it needed to be like in an instant. What tends to happen is I usually write the instrumental track for the song first, and then like I listen to the track. I'm like, how does this make me feel? Da, 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 da. Like, what's the story? And then I write based off of it. But this one, like I was high, and like sometimes when I get random passages stuck in my head, and I never know if it's something that I heard somewhere that just gets stuck in my head, or something that I just like make up in my head. All the songs that I have like just start in my head first. Like I don't know what triggers them, but like I could be watching anime and like I hear the intro song. I'm like, that's really cool. Sounds like this. Like and I don't even like give it like adjectives that are like substantive. Like it sounds like a metallic string on a piece of wood. And like I that's like but that's not what I'm like physically saying in my mind when I think about it. It just gives me the feeling of metallic string on wood or whatever. That's a really dumb example. But like there's like those tonic qualities I hear, like I equate it to the sound that I hear in my head, and then I like try to recreate what I hear in my head with like instruments and stuff like that. And this song was very much like that. And honestly, it was inspired by Meet Me at the Altar. And I was listening to them, and I was
as
like,
are we all.
yeah, oh my. This song's easycore. And
Yeah.
Bring it back.
we've been saying that for like 6 months. We said that on the last podcast.
It's getting brought back. It's getting brought back
actively. And this song was like, when it came to me, I'm like this is a love song. And this is like not a breakup song, but this is like a sappy love song. And it's like the first one I've ever written. And like, I was like figuring out the feelings of like the butterflies, right? And it's like everything is just cranked up to 11. Right? Like all your emotions and sensitivity is like cranked up to 11 when you get those butterflies. And like that's why I wanted this song. Everything was just like happy to the max. And it's just like, it's cheesy as hell. It's super cheesy, but like I think in the funnest way. And I'm like, I got to get Nate. So like, I knew that he had agreed to do the song. He hadn't heard any of the tracks or anything yet. So I I wrote all my stuff and I just left the blank spot on the second verse for him. I sent him the tracks, and like 2 weeks later, he sent me back like his vocals recorded. Didn't know what he wrote, didn't hear anything, and I was like, this is, and it's so cute, and I can't wait for you guys to hear it. And we shot a music video for it. That's not coming out for a bit. Where like was literally on the phone with one of my editors right before the podcast, which was late, about what edits to make. But the video is going to be so funny.
Hell yeah!
It's just I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm just gonna wait.
All right.
We're just, as we accidentally leak everything, we will also slightly leak this new song.
Oops.
It's okay. It's like 3 hours early, at least for me, anyways.
Yeah.
Like 2 hours away from the release. And right after this, I have to stay up past midnight and like update.
Yep.
These days, I always choose a Wednesday. Always at work, and I'm always.
Yeah. People used to do it on, or I guess they do it more on Fridays now, because it used to be Tuesday was release day.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know. I understand Friday like now, but like, I think Friday is just oversaturated with really big artists. Right? So like,
yeah, I actually saw somebody ask this comment on Twitter earlier, late last week, and friend of the pod, James Shotwell, he commented on it because he does a lot of like music writing and like music analysis. And he said it's basically because like, I guess that's when like the algorithm begins to reset and filter. So that's where you'll have to put it in, which I thought was like really interesting that it's like on a weekend.
Yeah. Because typically, at least from like my own observations about like my own stuff, the weekend is when I lose the most. Because people are out doing shit. Right? Like,
Yep. A lot more competition.
Right. So it doesn't make sense to me that the amount of people. And it's, according to what you said, Lizzie, that's because of the algorithm, which is a technological reason.
Yeah.
Like that's not even a human reason. Like it's not because of the audience. It's because literal coding tells you to. That shapes an entire fucking industry.
I'm saying like the music industry is like, we don't want anyone to have music for free. But also, we will not figure out how to do this. We'll just let fucking Zuckerberg just tell us like, put your music out whenever. Here's good. All right, we'll do it like that. It's like, dude, you're like giant companies who are like, we can't figure this shit out at all.
You know what's so crazy though? It's like, bring up the algorithm, and it just like made me think of something that like obviously we know that algorithms basically run our lives right now. Right? Like everything, like every social media platform is an algorithm, and so many of us constantly. And and streaming, like watching like TV shows, Netflix. What's suggested to you? Algorithmic. Like your news, like on your phone, like the news app is algorithmic. Like it used to be that the algorithms were written, at least I think, the algorithms were written based off of how humans operate, like how humans act. And so they would like create algorithms to like, you know, be able to market most effectively against it. Now, algorithms are controlling our lives and changing the way we act. Mm-hmm. And like, for example, TikTok is one of the craziest algorithms I've ever experienced in my whole life. Mm-hmm. It's like you scroll the app for like 30 minutes and it knows everything about you. It's like it knows all of your like guilty pleasures. It knows all of the things that you like. It like things that you didn't even realize that you liked. That like in 30 minutes they got you figured out. It's the craziest thing. And like people first got onto TikTok and like nobody knowing what to do, and then like people realized it, like learning firsthand. We saw like what types of TikToks blew up and like what things became popular, and then the next generation of TikTokers or people that come onto the platform are reverse engineering how these people got popular and reinventing themselves to be, you know, it's for the algorithm. Mm-hmm. And now like people are changing themselves for the algorithm that was written off of the way that people used to operate. It's the most mind-boggling thing. Like it's like we're tail chasing.
Data analytics.
Sorry, I don't know if I went a little too deep on that.
No. I was actually watching a video the other day that kind of was blowing my mind about like the TikTok algorithm. It was mostly from like the perspective of race and like how it prioritizes, like there are a bunch of white men who create algorithms, and then it turns out that the algorithms might not be the most egalitarian system in the world. And when it is affecting, to bring it to the emo culture and the music culture, it's like it's affecting artists, it's affecting livelihoods in good ways and in bad ways. But somebody in that video said, I didn't know that I had Asperger's or was trans until I was on TikTok. And I was like, oh my God, that is fucking insane.
Yeah, there's stuff that's on there. And like, I'll get some stuff that's targeted. I'm like, this is definitely not what I have at all. And like, I'm very, very certain and sure. And then I'm like, but what if? And I'm like, no, I'm so pretty certain and sure.
But it's
there was one time they were like, you might have this disease. And I was like, and I Googled the symptoms and I said, okay, so I made a doctor's appointment. They're like, you don't have this. What are you talking about? They're like,
the problem is
you have this other issue that's very, very mild. And I was like, okay, maybe I put too much trust here.
Yeah.
That happened to me too. Like I thought that and I actually still might, but like sometimes I think I have ADD, HD. And there was like
TikTok. That's just because you're on TikTok.
Yeah, no, I actually saw it because I'm like, I know I don't have like ADD or ADHD because I've, had other testing done for other things. And I'm like, they've never diagnosed me with it. And I'm just like, okay, so do they just assume that this is a trending thing? And I actually saw on Twitter and Instagram that people were saying like, yeah, I just get so much ADD, ADHD content because it's just a trending topic. And now we're coming into like the area of people who are self-diagnosing as like really severe mental illnesses. Like there's been people online who pretend to have a borderline personality disorder, which is a very severe mental disorder and very life debilitating. They're like, oh yeah, I have all these different personas, and they will do like whole drawn out things for months on it. And it is so wild. They're like, these are my 10 to 15 to 30 personas. And everybody's like, hey, like, that's literally not how this works. This person is lying.
Oh my God.
But if you try to say like, hey, this person probably doesn't have this. That's not what it is. And then they're like, no, you're being mean to them. You're bullying them. It's like, no, I just don't think, I'm pretty sure this person doesn't have it.
It's just truth. It's not mean.
Yeah.
And there's like legitimate doctors on TikTok that can like literally watch that and be like, no, this person, not from what I'm observing, this person doesn't have it.
Yeah, it's like, I'm literally a whole ass doctor, and that is not it. Yeah. Also, Badger said that's DID, not borderline. Yeah. And I've also, so that's my bad, but I've also seen people say they have borderline personality disorder. and they do not. And I'm like, I don't know why you want to lie about having
that makes no sense to me.
You know, things like that. I feel like those people who do have it are having an absolute terrible time. Yeah. Why would you want to mimic that at all?
I've never understood that either. Although I will say, like, when I was in like grade school, I used to wish that like I had a broken arm so I could have a cast so people could sign it. Never happened.
That's pretty benign, though.
It's like in the grand scheme of things.
In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really compare. But like, you know, it's the same type of like, except I wouldn't fucking lie about having a broken arm.
I mean, it's a
Brian?
You know, no one. Okay,
Brian.
Brian's gonna be like, Lizzie, I broke my arm. I'd be like,
no, I would never do that. No, I'd be like, I don't think I can break my arms. I'm made of steel, and then walking around with an arm like this.
The Harry Potter wobbly arm.
Yeah.
Like Gumby, like emo Gumby.
Let's just relax. And I do want to mention though that I saw your TikTok about like, why is that guy making kissy faces at me? And it was like me with a septum ring.
Oh yeah.
That cracked my shit right up. It's
really?
Like, dude. All right, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
Okay, so let me tell you, like TikTok again is the most fucking random thing. And that was an instance of me like, that was like a planned TikTok. Like I had that in my head and that was like reverse engineered off of like seeing how other TikToks blew up. So like I'm literally talking about what I was talking about earlier. Like I'm one of the people that uses TikTok as a marketing platform because otherwise I really wouldn't create content on there. And like I knew, I was like, I knew this would take me 4 seconds to do. 4 seconds. So it took me 4 seconds, literal 4 seconds to record. And then like maybe like a minute of like the proper text. And is by far the most viral thing I've ever had on Instagram. And I got paid for it. I'm like, this shit took me like 5 minutes total. And I'm like, this is the dumbest thing. And I'm not like complaining. Like I'm glad like that's helping me fund my tour, whatever. But like it got like 2 million views. And
holy shit.
Yeah. And I'm like, what? Like that. Crazy, and like it did well on TikTok too. It was like 50K on TikTok or something, which is weird to me too. I don't really understand what difference is between algorithms, but some things on Instagram do really well and something horrible. I don't know.
I feel like we also have like more like if I repurpose something from TikTok and put on Insta, we get more hits and circulation of those rather than on TikTok, even though we're using pretty similar tags.
I wonder.
It's just Zuckerberg versus
not
Zuckerberg.
China, right?
I'm kind of glad I don't know the CEO's name of TikTok. Like, I just want to not know. I just don't want to know who it is. Like, I'll live fine if I just don't have to know a terrible person's name for like a couple of days. Of your life. Yeah, like I could go without a Musk. You know, just
a Musk.
If I could go
like
through
musky in here.
If I could go like Eternal Sunshine, any person out of my brain, it would 100% be like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, and just be like, I don't know who that is. I've never used an Amazon. Anyway, what's up, Twitch? Badger, get his name out of there. I don't care about it. He dropped the CEO's name. I'm like, nah, no. A majority of the 1% do not like the spotlight for a good reason, but also,
honestly, though.
But then it's like that.
We're at about an hour. We'll play this song, so don't go nowhere if you're in the chat on the Twitch. But before we do that, I want to make sure that you have time to tell everybody who's here where you're going to be, where they can find out, where they can get tickets to your shows, where they can support you, where they can find when the music comes out, you know, where should they go?
So, my Instagram has everything. Search me, literally Darro, Darro. Darro_C is at I guess. I also recently listened to a podcast where someone was like, anytime at the end of a podcast, they like ask you to like link their website and stuff. They just end up Googling your name. And I noticed that myself too. Like I listened to a podcast person. I was like, and like their stuff is in the description, but I always just end up Googling their name. And generally you can find them. So you can Google me, Darro, Darro. Not sure what'll come up for you because it's different for every person, apparently. Google is not equal. Algorithms. Google's not equal for everybody. Or search me on Instagram. And all my links are there. I'm going on tour starting Friday. I'm going to be hitting up Cleveland, Ohio, and Chicago, and Cincinnati, and Atlanta, Washington, D.C., my hometown, Lancaster, PA, Phoenixville, Boston, and Brooklyn.
Wait, so are we coming to the Chicago show?
Brian will have to because I have to be at a wedding.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Brian will have to.
Brian will have to for both of us. Sorry, bestie.
Man, I think I got something that night.
You got to go in this alone.
At his own wedding, another wedding. It's at Magoo's Bar.
Magoo's?
Is that what it is? How do you say it? In Bedford Park.
Okay.
I'll send you a link.
It's one of those other ones.
It's not in the city because I couldn't get a fucking booking.
So also it is, yes, there's that, but also we've obviously had a lot of venues, like smaller venues, especially like closed down.
That's
in
true.
the pandemic.
Yeah, also true.
A lot of them were not great venues in the first place. So it's like, it sucks.
What a loss.
So tragic.
It sucks the way you had to close down. No, baby, like stay open. But it was, but it had an
overall effect.
Yeah.
Effect. Yeah.
It had an overall effect. And like the suburbs generally are not affected by that because like they don't have as high of like venue taxes in the suburbs. So like there's a period of time where a lot of people were doing it like outside of the major like city area and
Metro, yeah.
Well, also too during like when COVID was, some of the restrictions were just getting lifted, a lot of the suburbs were like, we don't gotta do the city ordinance. We're not in the city. Let's go.
It was
so that's
concerning.
Also what was
real
going on.
concerning sometimes.
Yeah.
There were like some places where it's like,
like there is one place that's in the suburbs it's kind of near me. They were on the news multiple times in 1 year during COVID quarantine.
For like super spreader events?
For playing shows, having a whole bunch of and I was like, you know what? Hate that. Hate it.
Not a fan.
And then just posting like, I don't get the point of Black Lives Matter. It's okay. Stop posting. Someone take away this man's Facebook.
No.
Yeah, no. It was real bad. Yeah. Anyway, that was some of the suburbs.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's like house shows. I know there's there's a house show happening out by me for one of our friends on Friday, which is ironic because we will be DJing. So I will be nowhere near it, even though it's one of the closest shows.
Sorry, friends.
It'd be that way. Sorry, Maud and normalcy.
Well, I went to Maud's show. She'll be fine.
So how do I send you this song?
Yes. And if you're in Chicago, hopefully I'll be at Darro's show. I have to find the exact date. So, let me do some data analysis.
Saturday, July 2nd.
Saturday, July 2nd.
Yikes.
So
this
Saturday? Oh, shit. So I'm going to let you know I might be coming in real hot. Because
me too, apparently.
I'm gonna be day drinking, so I'm coming real hot.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Bestie.
So if you're in Chicago and listening to this, I'm going to be there, and I'm gonna be coming in spicy and hot.
Just make sure he's like alive enough afterwards.
No,
to just go home.
No,
Brian.
Put me in an Uber. I'm done.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Just throw him in there.
All right,
it's like when you forget something and you're like, put in the Uber, I'll get it. It's like that.
Yeah. This is you telling me now to put him in an Uber after the show.
Exactly.
You know what? Do your best, but like if you're busy, we'll let somebody else handle it.
It'll be late. It'll be after we close out.
Brian's going to message me and I'm going to be at this wedding with my own little world going on the opposite side of Illinois. And he's going to be like, I'm having a problem. And I'll be like, Bestie.
I'm in Darro's tour van and I'm in Nashville.
No, I'm in like southern central Illinois, which is pretty.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm not going there.
Nobody asked you to.
Yeah. But we're gonna go talk with Twitch. We're gonna play this song for Twitch. If you missed it, you heard it earlier in the episode, I guess. this is weird because it's like, yeah, we didn't hear it yet, but also like, didn't you, the listener at home?
The song is out, so you can like, just
the song is out by
it.
now, but like you get the cool bragging rights of being like, but I heard it before.
We're about to be so cool in the future past. We're like the X-Men.
Sir.
I got nothing. Yeah. So we're gonna go do that. But if you are if you're nearby where Darro's gonna be, go to there and go listen to the music, listen to the song now that it's out. Go get all the stuff.
Yeah.
You know? We Darro's good because we brought him back. So just let that be a lesson to you.
We don't bring a lot of people back.
No. And
there's
you know
only
what?
Very few.
I mean, we're sick of Under Oath, and why we haven't had Chris back. That's just not true. Fucking love Under Oath.
No, that's not true.
It's just gonna be like this thing of like, if you haven't come back, do we even really like you?
Are you even a bestie?
We only have the only people who have come back more than twice has been friend of the pod, James.
Yeah.
We had him like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. But he hasn't been back since.
He's a real bestie.
Yeah. Real bestie.
I mean, he's just a person we actually know. It's just like, he's like,
he's chill. And his fiance was on too. Very chill. Everybody's very chill.
Everyone very chill. We only bring back our favorite chill besties. Yeah. I'm so sick of the words that I'm saying.
Non-derogatory besties.
Fuck. So yeah, go follow Darro. Go check out Darro. And yeah, we're just really glad we got to have you on again. So thanks for coming by.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
Thank you.